Hi, thanks for listening. Today I'm going to go over a presentation on healthy productivity, giving tips out to other folks, and this is a presentation that's giving at my local users group for basically .NET and other web development. Here today to get you to think about how to get more out of life, basically offering ways that people can have a more enjoyable, successful, and happier life via these areas of life, whether it's more or less office life and time management and some tech tips too. So yeah, thanks for listening. Myself, I've been in software development for 13 years. I'm a technology and a wellness advocate outside of corporate world, and married to my wonderful wife Jenny. We have a cat named Gus, and hoping for kids in the near future. I have a blog that I do lightly at healthandcode.com. And there's some additional YouTube tech videos from that header link. Ways to connect with me are listed below. Generally, LinkedIn, Twitter, or email is cool. So basically jumping into it here, talking about time management techniques. For something first that you can try is a Pomodoro timer, which is running through a task activity that you need to do and setting the timer for whether it be 15 or 25 minutes. And after that stage, taking a short break from 3 to 5 minutes and just assessing what you have done and maybe doing another stack of that same task right afterwards, or popping onto another task that you have. If that's in the the office world, just basically jumping onto the next item of business and just but also recognizing what you accomplished on the last task. Next, talk a little bit about time boxing as far as, so Pomodoro timer is an example of time boxing. What I'm using that as is a different setup of that, just mainly stepping back if you've been grinding on something for several hours or days or possibly weeks, depending upon what it is. Just recognizing where you're at and maybe additional help is needed from others, or maybe basically, in the context of a software release, sometimes bugs are unable to be fixed in that first iteration or release candidate. So, just recognizing that might be an option to go down at times, just to not basically work yourself to death. So, next, mentioning scheduling some variety of tasks if you need. I know for myself that works quite well. Basically, just getting different avenues and different areas of the brain working to be more efficient that way. Your mileage may vary for your own needs. If what you're doing is working, don't feel free to don't change anything up too big. So it's always important to recognize what you need. Next, I want to talk a little bit about leveraging basically calendar appointments with appropriate colors. Mainly using them to maybe indicate something either important as a certain color, so to speak. That one of your higher priority projects happens to be a certain color. I know that wouldn't be the best suggestion if priorities shift a lot in your day, but basically getting at different projects or different areas of your life can have different colors. Like for mine, I happen to use like something family related or possibly medical is red, and the community is orange, type of just different colors to indicate what it might be. Then there's a lot of options available for colors, whether it's Outlook or Google Calendar, etc. One thing to be mentioned about calendars is that if business allows, pick 1 or 2 days a month to not follow your exact planned day for a nice breather. If you are a structure kind of person and that really doesn't apply to you, that's cool too. Just a suggestion that might help. Just break up the routine a little bit and get right back in track. Next, going over scheduling downtime and making sure that you have breaks throughout the day, just to make sure your blood's moving and you're not getting too confined to one area, that you're actually walking around, possibly doing some outside reading, walking, outside meditation, whatever it might end up being, maybe talking to a coworker, things like that, or some type of game to get your mind off of stuck problems. Some examples of office exercises you can do a few times every hour. Just generally looking away from your monitor can be very helpful for your eyes. And basically, so you're not staring at the screen, just wearing your eyesight away. That wouldn't be good. General stretching, as far as squatting, bending over, maybe bringing some weights if you want to happen to save some gym time. A lot of those items are from a set of exercises that you can find if you Google the term deskercise. So go ahead and check that out. And an example of being a little active throughout the day, maybe talking to a coworker in person rather than 100% email. Maybe a few times talk to them in person if they're not super focused on a task. And as always, balance these out with your own personal work focus and performance. You don't want to overdo it in one direction or another. So onto technology productivity tips in the development world. Helpful refactoring tools for Visual Studio, .NET, and Eclipse. Some examples would be ReSharper or CodeRush. There's also built-in snippets in the IDE, and especially in the Visual Studio .NET world. Basically right-clicking and you can get at the snippets that way. Either there's surround with, or basically just a starter of an if block for each loop, etc. That it'll help you out in that manner. To help with resolving namespace issues where there's not a fully qualified namespace of a type, you can do control period, and that would be more quick to go ahead and do that, just to resolve any compile type of errors. So that's outside of the .NET thing. Next, covering some few things in SQL Server, and more specifically Management Studio, that you can go ahead and basically download this tool pack that I mentioned, ssmstoolspack.com. And it is a free copy if you're under version 2012 of SQL Server. So your Management Studio has to be under that, or it's somewhere around like a $25 license. And if you're doing heavy amounts of queries, it will most likely definitely pay for itself as far as the reduced amount of typing that you have to do for certain tasks, because there's SQL snippets available. Basically, if you go ahead and type something as simple as SSF or SSC, it will go ahead and expand those to full query statements for you. So it's really handy, and you can customize that to your needs. There's also some other fancy features in there. Server connection coloring, just to kind of give you a heads up to say, hey, when it matches this pattern or this exact name, it's going to be a different color, just to give you a more visual indication of whether you're not on production, development, etc. Just make sure you have that visual confirmation, and a little bit more on alert in environments to be careful about running scripts, and committing transactions, etc. A really cool feature in there sometimes, if you want something a little bit quicker than import-export wizard, would be script grid results, and that helps pop out the data in basically onto another new query window, and that would be very helpful in cases where you don't have a link server, some other setup like that. One caveat with that though is that it's going to do all of the data types, or most of them, as varchars. So date times, etc. Just something to be cautious of in certain circumstances that may not be what you want, especially maybe numerics would be something to watch out for as well. So, and they may have changed that in the most recent version. And there's also additional features to check out on that. Just basically go ahead and go to their website. So on to the next set. So general computer productivity tips would be aliasing an email address with a prefix of some keystrokes that are easy to type, and that would help you pop out an email to a more frequent contact and do that in a more quickened manner for you. So if you like to happen to have multiple windows up on screen at a certain time, you can nicely position those with some additional software as far as Max2 or Ultraman. They're very wonderful products, and they help you basically better position and coordinate things. And Windows 10 has some additional flexibility, capability rather, in there as far as getting the 4 quadrants on there. So, if you are on Windows 10, take advantage of that as well. And if you need even more segments, containers of the screen, you can check out one of those tools. For making sure that you're not blasted awake in the morning or at night, I'd recommend using Flux, and that would help you in that nature. Just to basically what it does is you put in your geographical location, and it would help you by automatically checking the sunrise and sunset times of the day, and that helps go ahead and basically calibrate the monitor as far as the dimming level and the intensity of the colors at the sunrise and sunset times. And you can have it like an hour slow change, or just a matter of 1 minute as well, I believe, that range. So there are another category of things I want to mention for speed reading. There would be a browser extension, for example, if you're using Firefox. Reezy is a great extension to be able to pass words to you on the screen faster, because it's in a more isolated area. Your eyes don't have to move across the whole page. So in that sense, it can be more helpful for you if you are able to more quickly digest that information. If your brain is really, basically, if reading the normal way is too slow for you, it definitely would help out that way, just to increase learning and to be able to do more. Just get more out of life, more learning. Good stuff. So as far as tips and all, that should about do it. And if other people have suggestions for others, they can comment below on the video and maybe have questions to me or comments themselves added in. And thank you all for watching, and have a great day. Thanks.